Hi, it's Laura here at the Charleston Holistic Center, and today we're talking about nothingness. This comes up kind of repeatedly. Why? Because it's a super important topic. What is nothingness? When we do our meditation, we're supposed to think about and focus on nothingness. But what is that? Okay, it's the quantum field, the 0 point. It's the space between everything. And by everything, I mean everything. Most of matter is made up of 99.9999999% nothing. The amount of matter that is actually something is very, very tiny. You're like, but I can see this and I can touch this. This, my hand not going through my hand, that is the repulsion of the electrons in this hand with the repulsion of the electrons in this hand. That's the electrons pushing each other apart. That's the electrical field keeping the hands from going together. All depends on the bonds in the material, how squishy it is, and how much give it has, how solid it is, whether it's turned into a liquid or a gas. So that's all electrons. Electrons are really tiny. The nucleus is really tiny, and the space between the two, huge. So when we go into the nothingness, we're going into that space in between. Now, there is information being transferred through the nothingness at all times. Because the nucleus has to communicate with the electrons and back and forth so that your atoms stay atoms. So there's information in there going back and forth all the time, creating existence. But it's not the kind of information that we get here, okay? Some of it may be photons, which is what we see, okay? Our eyes see photons, but we only see a tiny portion of the electromagnetic spectrum that photons are part of, create, however you want to say it. The photons that go in between, are not ones that our eyes perceive. And at the moment, we have a really tough time actually detecting this stuff. We know it has to be there, but we have a tough time detecting it. That's okay. Remember, all of that information is creating reality. So this is why we go into the nothingness, because it's possibility. If you're creating reality there, there's the potential for multiple realities. So that means there's the potential in that nothingness for new information, for different information, to change information. It's not yet completely understood by us humans how we do this. But the key is to get into the nothingness. And it is black because our eyes are not perceiving photons, okay? We're there with our consciousness, not our eyes. Can you sometimes see images? Yeah. You focus in on something and sometimes that comes up. This is pretty much how all mandalas have been created is you go into the nothingness and a pattern comes through. New information. It's all about doing that. Getting into the nothingness. How do you get there? You got to not be yourself. Everything about you has to go away. You got to stop thinking about this physicalness. So you got to stop thinking about your body. You have to stop thinking about all the people in your life. You got to stop thinking about um, time, your place, all the things that you have. You got to stop thinking about all of that and go where there's nothing, which is yet everything. It's all information that we can do a little bit of change on that. How we select that, what we resonate with. Like I said, it's not fully understood. I know that there are quite a number of people doing some research on this right now, actually. And the more we understand, the easier it is for us to work with this idea. But the nothingness, that's where we go when we meditate. It's very important because it gets us out of this reality and gets us into a place where there's possibility for something new. Long-winded discussion today. But anyways, I'm just saying. Now, if you did like the video, please do like. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do subscribe. And hey, share this with people who might not have really heard of this and might want to know a little about it. All right. Thank you and namaste.